Yeah. Hold up, hold up. Get right with you. I'ma get right with you. Bad bitches, fuck up, then dismiss 'em. Bang. I ain't really here to take no pictures.
Yo, what's up guys? Back with another video, and today I'm going to show you guys the 6 best ways to score on breakaways with both lefties and righties. So let's get into it. Starting with lefties, there's 6 different scenarios you guys could score, and first one is, coming full speed down the middle, and you got a guy behind you and you're just trying to score on a breakaway, and you guys know when you're skating from full speed, it's very hard to pull off a move and score. So what I thought the best move is, and I think it's probably the easiest way to score on breakaways, is just doing a small stop at the hash marks right there, and then you just go forehand, backhand, forehand, or backhand, forehand. You want to stop not like that where your forehand is too much on the left side. You want to stop really perfectly down the middle. You want your forehand to stay in front of you, not behind you, and then you're gonna have a much easier way to score. As you guys see there, when I stop, I have my stick in front of me, not on the side, and it works much easier and much better than anything you could do when you're coming down full speed. Just an in-game example here, as I come in full speed, I do a small break. I have enough time to go backhand, forehand, and put in the backhand. That's pretty simple like that. Now coming in from the left side with lefties, when you're coming down full speed from past the blue line, it's like I said, when you're coming full speed, it's hard to score in this year's game. So what you want to do here is you want to go backhand, forehand, backhand. You can do backhand, forehand. It might work, but it's not as efficient as the backhand, forehand, backhand going across the net. It works quite well, but though I feel like going slower on breakaways is much better. So if you can incorporate a stop and do that, or a stop and go back and forehand, it works quite well as well. But if you have a lot of pressure coming in from the side, which you probably do, like seeing as you're coming from the side, it's probably best to go across, and that's the probable way you're gonna score. Next up, coming from the right side, so coming in from your one-timer side, it's quite hard to score when coming full speed. Like I tried forehand, backhand, like it just goes across the net, like it just doesn't work. The best thing for you to do is, once again, cut across the net, go forehand, backhand, forehand. Really show the backhand to the goalie so you have more space on the forehand to score, and you want to be quick by cutting across. You don't want to hold on the backhand and shoot forehand. That won't work. Maybe if you're McDavid, but aside from that, it won't work. You really need to show the backhand, but first show the forehand so you could get that shot off on the forehand. Next up is what I like to call a short breakaway, and those are what work the most in this game. So whenever, I know it happens a lot in game, and it's hard to kind of explain when it happens, but you guys can tell from what I'm doing. It's a quite efficient way to score, and it probably happens when you either get a forecheck and get the puck, or if even on a 2-on-1 you could do these moves if you're on this side. So it works very well. I scored a lot of the times. Whenever I cycle and I have a lane to cut in front, I do these goals a lot. So this is the best way to score on the left side. You just want to show the forehand, show the backhand, and then shoot forehand. Like I said, it's a short breakaway, so you're coming in inside the blue line and then you're doing this move, and it's probably like a 90% efficiency once you get it right, and the best way to score from that angle. Next up, from the middle of the ice, you've got the short breakaway from the middle. This is pretty simple. All you want to do is a forehand, backhand, or backhand, forehand, backhand. They both work very well. You could also do a backhand, forehand, or forehand, backhand, forehand, but I think the backhand shot works much better. But like I said, if you sell it properly, you can score pretty much anything from the middle of the ice. You just want to sell it properly, and just like I said, you guys have to practice these goals if you want to do them in games properly. You really need to practice them in training, and it's a great way to score more goals and win more games. Alright, from the right side now, you got, like I said, this is very much like the middle. Because you're on your one-timer side, you have both options to go forehand or backhand, and they both work very, very well. As you guys see, the backhand works well, and the forehand, though he robbed me there, that was a pretty good save, to be honest, but it works very well as well. Just depending on what you see, depending what space you have. If the guy is in the middle of the ice covering that one-timer, or if the guy's cutting from the left side to defend you, probably going backhand is better, and it works as well. So pretty much depending on your time and space, pick one. And like I said, you guys need to practice this if you guys want to get better and score more goals, and score on the more chances you have. Now with righty, so first off, coming in from the middle of the ice, a long breakaway coming full speed. the best thing to do is once again stop and then forehand, backhand, forehand. But you could also score doing backhand, forehand, backhand, but stopping is much better and much more efficient, just depending how fast you're coming. But yeah, like I said, stopping, do that little stop, forehand, forehand works much better than backhand, forehand, backhand. But as you guys see, I'm actually scoring coming full speed, but you really have to shoot backhand. You won't be able to score forehand coming full speed. So if you want to score forehand, you really need to break. But as you guys see here, I'm scoring both ways. Just I think stopping and breaking at the hash marks once again is much better. Now coming in from the left with the righty, if you have enough space to cut in the middle, you can put your forehand towards the middle and then shoot backhand. It works decently well, not great, but depending on where you're at and depending if you're how close you are to the middle, it might work. But the best way to score from coming from the left with the righty is just cutting across, going backhand, forehand, and shooting glove side. It's the best way to score from this angle, and it works quite well, better than the backhand. So there's not many options coming from this side. I feel like it's it's not a great angle to score from. I don't like this type of breakaway at all. I usually try to pass or slow it down. But when this does happen, I think the best way for you guys to score is going backhand, forehand, shooting glove side. Alright, so now a long breakaway coming from the right side with the righty. If you're really on the side of the net, like nowhere close to the middle, what you want to do is just a straight backhand, forehand, and like lift it up shelf on the glove side. But if you're kind of cutting towards the middle and you have a bit of an angle towards the middle, you want to do forehand, backhand, forehand, and you're gonna have an easy open net there. It just really depends on your angle. If you're really coming from the side, just do a backhand, forehand. If you're coming from like the side but you're inching towards the middle and you have a little bit of leeway into the middle of the ice, just go back, forehand, backhand, forehand, and it should work. You really don't want to go in the backhand here. It will not work. It might work a few times, but like I said, the most efficient way is definitely shooting forehand, either backhand, forehand, or forehand, backhand, forehand. Next up, coming from the left side of the ice, on a short breakaway, what you want to do is straight up show the forehand, go backhand, or backhand, forehand, backhand. You really want to shoot on the backhand here. Because you're on a short breakaway, you won't have enough space to cut in front of the net and shoot far side. It will not work. So definitely shooting backhand is the best way to go. And the middle of the ice, you can pretty much do anything you want, just like the lefties. Backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand. Really anything you want, it will work. You just really need to show your initial move so you have an empty net. But the best thing to do, definitely coming from the middle, is definitely a three-way move. So when I say three-way, I mean three things. So backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand. Either one of those is probably the most efficient way instead of doing just a backhand, forehand, or forehand, backhand. And finally, coming from the right side, my favorite move to do with the righty on the right side, simply going forehand, forehand, or backhand, forehand, like the long breakaway. But this one is almost like a 100% guaranteed goal if you really practice it and do it properly. It's my favorite goal to score just because it's so clean and you have an empty net and it's just so nice to see. I don't know, I really like this goal, and this is the most efficient way you're going to score on any breakaway for sure once you master this one.